What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be exactly how I set up and scale my ad accounts on Facebook. You can see here in the past 10 months we've spent almost $800,000 on ads. We also have a couple more ad accounts as well with probably like 200K on it combined. So around $1 million now. I'm going to be running you guys through everything. I'm going to make this video as quick as I possibly can. There's a few things that we need to get through, but the only thing I ask from you guys, if you do find this video useful, please sub, helps the cause, and also, yeah, message me on Instagram if you guys have any other questions. I'm not gonna try and sell you on anything. I just know how hard e-com can be. I'm trying to help all of you guys fucking dial it in and have a crazy Q4. The reason why I made this video is because if you haven't checked out the video I posted like I think it was three videos ago now, I'll put it on the screen. It goes more into depth about my creative strategy, not like the actual testing strategy in itself, and how I'm setting up my ad account and how I'm tracking certain metrics and how I'm scaling on those certain metrics. So some common questions I get is, do I run retargeting ads? Do I run ABO, CBOs, or ASCs? Do I run scaling campaigns, testing campaigns? Do I run one ad set, multiple ad set? Do I run it fully broad? And like my answer to this, so before I come down here and break that down, I'm going to show you my strategy and then we can tie it into the one before. So my setup, I like to keep it as simple as possible. Came up here and wrote creatives are king because you guys in the beginning, I know this because I had it as well. You have some ego, like where you think that you are making better creatives than Facebook actually realizes. And if you were to spend, or if Facebook was to spend on those creatives, you'd be getting more sales. And this is why I put this here, like keep it as simple as possible and trust Facebook. I see a direct correlation between the amount of money people make in e-com and the amount that they actually trust Facebook as a whole. Because I've been in the stage where I have launched tests, and then from those tests I've gone and I've made like complicated 2-3 hour VSLs, voiceover ads. I've launched them, they've taken no spend, so I'm like, fuck you, Mark. I'm gonna go ahead, launch them in an ABO and force spend on them. And lo and behold, maybe they take spend for it, or maybe they perform for 1 day, 2 days. Overall, they never outperform that number one spending ad, because even if your ad account structure is the best, it's completely seamless, like you're doing everything right, if the quality of your creative's shit, then the results are going to be pretty bad. If you're launching 12 to 15 just terrible ads, Facebook is just going to pick the one that's the least terrible, spend on that, and at the same time, your results are still going to be terrible because of that. So yeah, I don't know why I included that photo, I just thought it was funny. Anyways, moving on now. So my setup. It depends on your budget, really. I like to do one CBO per country, but you can also do top 4. I'm doing one ad set, interest and desire, and I'm testing and I'm scaling in the same campaign, because the objective here is to naturally flip the top spending ad. So that's why, just say you rip all of your ads, 12 to 15 ads, day one test, you launch them, then there's an ad that's just spending significantly higher than all the other ads. If you then go out, make like a VSL, make it AI voiceover ad, just go and craft like a good ad using that information. You launch it into the campaign and it takes spend over that ad. That's a successful test. And that's why I like to test and scale in the same campaign, because at the end of the day, the only thing that I'm doing to scale is, because I'm running a CBO structure, I'm just increasing the budget for every single time that I hit the target ROAS. Now, how do you actually calculate target ROAS? Super simple. So easiest way, I like to find my break-even ROAS first. You can just ask ChatGPT, I buy my product for X, I sell it for Y, what will be my break-even ROAS? And it's just going to give you guys a bit of a number, or give you guys a number. And then here are some examples on what you do want to make your target ROAS depending on your break-even ROAS. So break-even ROAS 1.1 to 1.4. You want to be aiming for like a 2 to 3, so like a 2.5 would be a good sweet spot for that. Break-even ROAS 1.4 to 2. Now this is important to notice, you should never be above a 2 ROAS as long as you're focusing and as long as you're using the 3x markup minimum rule, because then you won't be outside of that. And then your target ROAS, this should be 2.5 to 3.5. I don't know why I did 2.4 to 3.4. So you should be around 3 as your target ROAS if you are at like break-even ROAS of 2. But I would highly recommend in the beginning stages not doing that, because it is relatively hard to scale profitably without like a solid strategy in place at 3 ROAS. Also depends on the product as well. Now, when it comes to the early stages of testing, this is one of the most important pieces of advice I can give you guys, and it's one of the most important things that I had to realize the hard way. And it's that emotional scaling is the worst possible thing that you can do, in the sense that if you are launching ads, just say you are like, this is day one here, your ad performance is break even, and day one, maybe it goes down to negative, you lose like $100 or whatever your testing budget is, and then day two, it goes up, soars to like 4 ROAS and you get 5 sales. The amount of people that I see at this point 2x their budget or increase their budget by 20%, increase their budget by 30%, just off a pure lucky day is the reason why the next day, lo and behold, it's going to fucking crash. So what I like to do in the early stages is if I'm testing and I'm not, if there was a significant change I implemented here, just say like it went negative and then I implemented a better offer, I ran to a different landing page, or I launched a new ad that I thought was going to do well, something like that. And then it spiked. I'm going to be watching it. I like to call it trigger discipline, all right? If you are able to hold off just for one day until the second day it's profitable, that can be the difference between, you being up and down like this and you actually being able to scale like that. So I like to let it run for 2 days, hit my target ROAS. If it's significantly above my target ROAS, then I'll double the budget. But at the same time, if I'm just hitting my KPIs on the dot, I'm just going to increase it by 20%. It's super simple. So many of you guys overcomplicate this shit. And at the end of the day, like I said, if you're not using good creatives, if good creatives can solve all of your problems. It doesn't matter if you run this setup. It doesn't matter if I run an ABO $7.65 a day to Southwest London. If it's a very good ad, it's relevant to the people, I'm going to sell the product. But yeah, I try to keep this video as short and as sweet as I possibly can if you guys stayed this far to the end. Give me any questions. This was a relatively short and technical video. And also message me on Instagram for the free Discord link. Appreciate you guys and see you in the next video.